What's up, everyone? See if I can find my stream here. That looks good. What's up, guys? Gonna take a look at my bag here. We'll get started here momentarily. This is the bag that I've been using for Masters. This is first look in a long time that I've played the Masters tournaments here. What's up, Joe? Thanks. Appreciate seeing you guys jumping in here. I've been experimenting with Masters. This is like first time officially really getting to look at it. Shout out to my Ragnarok group. They kind of gave me a little starting point with some setups and kind of just showing this is the way to kind of do it. Of course, we're going to be doing this with pretty much kingmakers. So it's like a little bit more wind than a lot of the other players are going to be playing with. I don't even think I've seen a single person use a kingmaker in this entire. So all my opponents, they've all been using better balls than kingmakers. So it can go kind of either way. I definitely think I have a pretty good understanding of these shots. Hopefully, we can do some good things here. Let's take a look, see what the bracket looks like. Didn't mean to click there. Some 15s in this one. Some 9s. Still a decent amount to go. I'd imagine probably have to get at least 13, 14 minimum. Hopefully get an albatross. I think that can definitely be a difference maker. So overall, we're looking pretty good here. We got a lot of attempts. We're just giving guys a couple minutes to just jump in here. I can see a couple people in the chat. I did pull it up, so I do have the chat up for you guys. So feel free to, comment, and I'll try the best that I can to kind of keep up with both. We're just gonna, more than anything, kind of have fun and kind of go over some of the shots that I've been playing in Masters using my Kingmaker balls. So for this first hole, I'm gonna just kind of get set up. So this is my standard bag, but I've definitely been using a couple other bags just to get distance control down, and this is one of the holes. So I'm going to start with my QB just to get the distance, and then switch it to the epoch. So that's what we'll do. And let's just jump in, play the first one, see how it goes. I've been having pretty good luck on this one. The adjustment that I've been using is pretty spot on. The Ragnarok guys kind of got me going a little bit different than I probably might have done on my own. So shout out to those guys. But, it just kind of helped me get a starting point, and then I could kind of tweak spins, tweak everything. But some of those guys have been using the Thorn, so it just kind of switched me over to Thorn. I figured, great ball, I'm going to miss it either way. So it really shouldn't matter too much what I'm doing. Actually, I don't even need to switch to that. I'm just going to do this like this. And we are going to just get set up right here. Nice starting point there. Switch over. And something along the lines of this for my spin. That looks pretty good. Should be about 12 rings in this situation. Of course, this is probably I definitely think this is the strongest wind I've seen. So let's just go 2 rings. Just a hair of curl back. All that looks good. This is the farthest I probably drove it. I think a little bit of extra tailwind. I haven't been down this far yet. I've had pretty good luck with a little bit shorter. So we'll give this a go. I definitely think, I got a good idea of what I want to do here. I'm just hoping that, being a little bit longer, I'm hoping that my spins don't kind of freak out on me a little bit. So maybe just a hair over power, or, just the way that it rolled out, not getting like a checkup bounce. A little bit different. I'm just hoping that being up this far, that my spins cooperate with me. So I'm not really sure what to expect. But I'm going to use this as kind of a reference. I might kind of underpull it just slightly. I can already tell my top spin's changing a little bit. It's a little bit more aggressive up here. Let's try right there. And all is good. So 1 played, 1 in. So we're off to a good start here. Even being just a little bit longer off the tee, I haven't played from that spot yet. It still played pretty consistent to what I expected it to do, which is nice. It seems to be a really nice funnel on this. So and the way that I've seen everybody else playing it is exactly like this guy. Every opponent that I've had has played this almost spot on like this. Kingslayer, 4 side spin, a lot more extra side spin, which helps. And this it definitely rolls out pretty consistent. But we're off to a good start here. Thanks for popping in, guys. Appreciate seeing some same faces, and we're off to a good start at least. Both of us got it. So I feel like I did the average score because I feel like everybody's getting this one. Basically, it just comes down to your perfect ball. Make sure you get your perfect, it seems. Almost everybody in Master seems to be getting that one. So good setup there. And good start off. That's how I started off yesterday. Just kind of getting some feel for some things. We're going to go Kingsmaker on this second one. I'm going to just kind of get set up ahead of time so I don't run out of time. Been using about 30% on this next one. That last one was no elevation. Just kind of play the number with Kingmaker. Just kind of line up in the hole. And with this one, we are going to start off with rock temporarily. And let's just jump in, see if we can keep the momentum going. Seems like I got a couple new faces in here, at least in the chat. So thanks guys for showing up. Appreciate seeing everybody, you know, just messing around a little bit in Masters. We'll just see how this goes. So let's see if I have to go first. I do not. I've been doing the rough bump on this. I'm assuming a lot of guys are probably doing a very similar rough bump type approach. Of course, I'm doing, yep. So there it is. Very similar spot, I'm assuming. My adjustment with Kingmaker is a bit different, a little bit harder to execute for sure. 9-3, I'm trying to think, that's kind of smallish maybe on the wind? That should be favorable for me, hopefully. With the Kingmaker, you do wind up potentially going a little out of bounds here. So that looks a little bit light, and you know, it's similar to what mine's gonna definitely be a significant adjustment. So let's just get the number set, plus 30%, 10-8, 12-5. I'd imagine we're gonna have no problem staying in range with this, and I just kind of set my spin. Once I get my spin set, I don't have to touch it again. So definitely kind of like this method of setup. 12-5, I'm almost thinking might be a little heavy. And I don't know that for certain. I'm kind of guessing. But I just feel with the wind being as light as it is, it's going to be heavy. So I'm going to kind of under slightly pull. Just a touch. Let's just see if that pays off, or if that logic is good. I was right, but it needed to be just a hair less than even that. So I probably pulled 0.1 less. I probably should have pulled even another 0.1 less. Yesterday, when I played this one, and of course I could have did a practice attempt just to kind of get my bearings again, but I missed on the other side. So it just ran over the edge on me on the right edge yesterday. So I tried to at least do just a little bit different adjustment, and just a little bit heavy. And I stayed a little bit light of this. What would have 25 been? 0.5 less? I think that would have been too much less. It's somewhere in between those two numbers. 12 and 12.5 for sure, especially on a small wind. But you could see, I think in the plus, it got to like maybe plus 14. Even with that small wind, it was getting very close to the max line for the Kingmaker. Yep, Anthony will be doing free to play here. And in fact, it's like overly free to play. I'm going to be using pretty much Kingmaker, with the exception of maybe is 3. Yeah, 3. I'm going to do a Berserker. I think that's the only one. Other than that, we're going to do Kingmakers. So this is like very free to play, because the Kingmakers almost don't even exist anymore. I feel like they're really being phased out in this game, because the new free to play win ball seems to be the Kingslayer. My inventory for those are pretty lackluster though. So I just got Luminary for the first time. I got 9. I've been building up Kingslayer 42. It's just, it's not enough to practice and play yet. So I'm just going to keep converting Kingmakers. I still have plenty of Kingmakers. I'm just going to keep converting Kingmakers into the more now newly accepted, seems like Golf Clash Ball, which is the new free-to-play Kingslayer, which is, it's nice that it's, you know, it's a better ball. That this one, you know, side spin 4, wind resistant 4. It's kind of, it's cool to have those as the new free to play, but it's like, I kind of feel like, you know, all this that I grew up on kind of is being phased out, and, you know, you have all these balls, and that second hole right there is kind of a perfect example of why not to play them. because it just makes the shot a little bit harder. But with that being said, we could have still got it, you know, 0.1 less. Who knows? You know, that's center cup maybe. So just got to find that. And if I would have had more looks, because that was my fourth look at it. So maybe, you know, 6 or 7 in, I would have probably start getting a little bit more consistent with it, and at least known, oh yeah, this is, you know, going to be right there. I didn't know because the wind was so different than what I had yesterday. So my wind yesterday was on the other end of this extreme. It was like 12.3 or something. It was massive. With this one, I am going to do a berserker. I really don't know the shot that I'm going to go for. So I think this is the only hole I'm a little uncertain of, because there's kind of two approaches. We can either blast it, which I have not got any success with yet, or the other is the kind of precision layup. I do know how to do the precision layup. I have a pretty good dialed in shot for that. So I think that's maybe the good way to go. But I kind of want to, you know, I kind of want to go for it, especially on a stream. Like it just seems more interesting. Now I did hit the practice button, so this won't be, you know, official going to the card or anything. So let's just see how this works out. I just want to kind of analyze the wind a little bit and maybe take one poke at maybe launching it again. But like I said, I haven't had any success doing it, and I've only tried it one time. So I'm not a pro or even, you know, but I don't have enough data to say, yes, I should go for this, or no, I shouldn't. So I kind of wanted to just take one quick look, and we'll maybe just decide from there. So 25% is 13.4. I'm probably getting what, mid 14s or something? High 14s, somewhere in there. Shaheed, that's good. Yeah, the Kingslayers, they're definitely good. I see a lot of guys using them. Definitely a good ball. I just don't have nearly enough right now. I've been playing it like this. So I've actually got it like this. So I'm kind of torn because the way that my opponent is hitting this shot, I've made the hole out from up here. So it just kind of makes me want to go for this conservative shot, because if I already have the adjustment anyway, maybe, you know, this crazy shot that I'm about to try doesn't make a lot of sense. So 15.1, it even went into the 15s for me. So, you know, with that being said, just trying to kind of gauge this somewhat, have some sort of idea with what we're dealing with. I don't know whether it's smart to come off of this or to just kind of launch it. Just want to see kind of how this works out, especially since it's practice anyway. Very, very tip right there on that 15.1. And even this, you know, this isn't going to be the easiest pitch. So if you don't get that mega bounce, and it's almost like if the wind would have been smaller, we're good. But let's say I didn't aim that much to the left, like I was going to have no chance, because it just hit the very last tip of fairway there where I just aimed it. So I couldn't go any more right. I couldn't get any more aggressive. I think we can make this pitch, but I don't think it's worth hoping for. Thanks, Kane. Yep, we're gonna give some of these, just some fun looks. Hopefully, we can get some drops. Of course, I'll probably drop this one and then miss the, and then actually miss the go-to shot. I don't know if I can bump this, and oh, it looks like I can. If they're gonna let me bump it, I'm definitely gonna go for the bump. This is gonna be a massive adjustment, though. I'm thinking plus 30. That sounds probably pretty good. At least 20 rings. Let's say minimum 20 rings. Gonna just over pull, maybe even make it 21. Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't have underpulled, or still could have had that. So I probably should have just stuck with the 20 number. Somewhere around 20 would have been perfect. Because I could see where it landed. It was kind of overpull. And I think some of that just has to do with, more so than anything, pulling down into lower ground. I try to overplay those so because it's a tailwind. But what happens is you pull it to lower ground. With the lower ground pull, you don't need to really overplay that. Now, if it wouldn't have been pulled into a bunker, that was probably spot. That's probably perfect. But like I said, I was what, one less ring from pulling that, and I still got the Alba that way. Like it would have been that easy to get the Alba. So even that is not like the worst way to play this. I might just kind of decide on the fly what to do. Let's go in and play this. I know how to lay up, and I know how to go for it. So it really just comes down to, what's going to happen. Problem with the server. Not sure what that means. Are you guys still there? Hopefully. I got kind of a weird thing on my side. A lot of people in here saying to do the B-52 shot. Maybe we'll do it. Glad to see we didn't lose the feed. I'm thinking, let's maybe go in, do the B-52. Make sure I have it. I mean, let's just say, hypothetically, we do wind up where I just did. There's no reason I don't think I can't make that pitch. It's probably easier than the B-52 shot, for sure. It would take a little bit less effort on the approach there. So, not sure. But we got everything set up right. Let's just kind of jump in, take a look. %. This is the small win. I feel like this is the win that I want. It's going to be hard for me to not go for this if they give me the small win, because that's going to allow me to point more to the right, which typically makes a longer hop, I feel. See, Lordro, I'm kind of like the opposite. Like I kind of want that. So I've seen success with 13s, and you aim a little bit more right, you get potentially a little bit better hop. So if I see the 13s, I almost feel tempted. But I can play it either way. Like I know this shot too. And I made it. That's the worst part. It's like I've made it from there. So it's hard to just be like, okay, 14-9, we're just gonna lay out. Because I don't want to be in that same spot. So the method that I've been doing for this is like this. We'll go with the B52 here. We're going to do it exactly like my opponent's setting up, more than the gist of what he's doing. I do a pin check, and then after that, my ring adjustment, a little bit different. This is probably definitely a harder ball to actually make this shot with, but I did make it, so I still think that I have a reasonable chance that we're going to get this. Great ball. I would imagine that's probably going to slide over. Sure enough. Couldn't quite get the alignment the way that I wanted it, so I tried to curl it just slightly, and the curl seemed to work. The alignment was on the kind of the right of the hole. I wanted it to be on the left of the hole, so I just curled it just slightly, and sure enough, we were able to get it. So as you can see, you know, the shot, it works, even with the Zerk. That's one of the reasons that, you know, I'm kind of like, why am I going for this crazy shot? Because that shot is pretty easy. But thanks, guys. Thanks for working through that one with me. As you can see, we just kind of did things a little bit erratical there. But we were able to get it. You know, realistically, I could have made it both ways, I feel. The practice was, I mean, it was dead on. I just over-adjusted like one ring, and it stopped on the lip. So both of the ways are definitely acceptable, for sure. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We were able to get one. so that's nice. Let's jump in, try hole number 4 here. This is probably my least favorite of this entire setup. So don't expect much from a Kingmaker on this one. If there's ever a hole not to use a Kingmaker, it's this one. I can tell you I've played this, I'm pretty sure 4 times already. Haven't really burnt the edge per se, like I have been right there, but not as close as I wanted it to be. This is a great win 5 ball hole for sure. No question about that. So let's just set up here at max, get our alignment down. Been doing about 2 top spin. 15, I think that's a little smaller on the wind. Set up right around there. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. And then 1 to 1 is my adjustment. And sure enough, there it is. So we finally got it with Kingmaker, first time. We are rolling here. Not bad overall. I would have liked a little bit better effort on 2 because I thought 2 was a better chance than 4, and I got 2, or I got 4 instead. So thanks, guys. We got some good shots started so far. Let's see if we can keep a little bit of this momentum going. Oh, and the next one we'll be using a Berserker as well. So another hole with the Berserker. So 7 Kingmakers we're using, 2 Berserkers, other than the practice. I might practice on another the next part 3. I'm not a huge fan of that one either, but I think I can make that one, more so than this one. I really dislike this hole. The adjustment, it just wasn't reliable for me. Like catching that funnel is just, it just doesn't seem to roll out consistent. I had such inconsistent, like it's not like it's, when I make that adjustment, it's not like it's lipping out or even run over the edge. Sometimes it's short, like sometimes it goes over the green. Like I just do not like that setup. So pretty cool that we were able to get it today. So let's go Zerk on this one. Thanks, Walter. Appreciate seeing you guys, especially some new faces. Appreciate you guys showing up, and thanks for the support. We're just kind of messing around a little bit. So let's hope we can keep some of this momentum going. I'm going to go a POC plus 10, a POC 8 plus 10 on this one. 14-6. I just kind of have the number memorized, so you can see I'm not using the wind app. Should be about, I don't know, 14-4. It's close enough. We don't got to get too anal on these. So all that seems good. Perfect ball. Somewhat aggressive. I think realistically, I think you can go for that in Master. I'd be interested in seeing if somebody actually dropped that. I think if you really wanted to really try to really go after that one, I think you could get to that right pin. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for showing up and hanging out. We're just kind of working through these holes. Hopefully, we can kind of keep this energy going and see what we can do. Finish out strong. I've still made hole 7, so not to jinx myself. I've gotten that one, and I've been close on a lot of other ones. So I know we can still keep moving forward and hopefully get 1 or 2 more. Hopefully. I did not, Lord Row. This was the first time that I had seen it, other than I think they put like 3 holes on here in a tournament before. But other than that, that's all I've really. It's this one. This is the hole. This is one of the holes that they did on one of the other tournaments. And I think I did it in pro. I went between the trees. It didn't work out very well in the stream. I know I had got this hole before, but I had not played this hole. So kind of like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, the Ragnarok crew, thanks for kind of just getting me squared away to at least have a starting reference and say, go for this shot, that type of thing, because it definitely helped to just kind of give me a little bit of a starting point, because everything else I've had to do entirely on my own, because I'm using different balls than everybody. Like, I don't know anybody. I haven't seen in any of my practice rounds, in anything, nobody has used the Kingmaker. So I feel like I'm the only person on the planet using Kingmaker. So let's jump out here. Keep rolling with things. I'm going to do power 2 ball on this one. Shahid, I might have to do that. I might have to take you up on that. That's a good idea. A cooking stream. The biggest problem is like staging the cameras and everything. It's like, it's a lot of work, but it would be a lot of fun. Let me tell you. I don't know if the Golf Clash community would appreciate it, but it would be a lot of fun. I seriously considered. I actually picked up a lot of the equipment to actually do a cooking channel. So it's definitely something that's not out of the realm of possibility. The only reason that I'm not doing it is it's just too much work for me. I almost feel like I need a team, or I need, to collaborate with multiple people, because it's just too much work. The video editing, the doing it on camera, doing the, all the staging, the light, like I really feel you need at least 2 people to do it. And that's the only reason, because I just don't want to be, it would be a full-time job plus some just to get off the ground on my own. And it's just a little aggressive for me, I feel. Since we have a decent round going, hope you guys don't mind. I was gonna maybe just do a practice run here, just to make sure that I'm squared away. I wasn't planning on practicing here, but it would be cool to drop this one. So I'd like to maybe just get a couple looks at it. Again, I'm going to go a pocket 8 plus 10 off tee. And you guys have seen that I've been really lazy on doing this, but I just wanted to kind of just show you, what we're talking about. Say I put in 10, it's 9/8. It's very close to 1-to-1. So that's the reason that I don't even put it in. It's kind of just like super easy math. So that's really the main reason that I'm doing that. And 13.7, I would say that's kind of on the high side for a wind. So maybe right there. Let's first get off this tee box. I think I've been using about 1 top spin here. Sounds right. I think this is the right spot. And then other than that, like I said, a pock plus 10. So all this looks good. I think that's pretty spot on to what I've been doing. Like I mentioned, I'd kind of like to get this, and that's the reason that I hit the practice button. I feel like I was probably going to miss it if I just wung it. I'm not well versed with this shot. Plus, I haven't seen near enough deviation of winds to think that I have this one dialed enough. Thanks for showing up, Colin. Pretty cool seeing you here. Hopefully, we can put something together in these last couple holes. That'd be real cool. Lordro, I have no tips for reducing lag. It seems almost impossible for this game to... It almost seems like, on purpose. So... So plus 6, I'm assuming we're going to have to go beyond typical adjustment here. So if 16 is my adjustment, we really quick fired that. I think the spin got just a little bit carried away for me. So a little bit heavy. 16 plus, I feel like I might have just used a little bit too much backspin there. I got to try to tweak that a little bit with the backspin, because we ended up in max. I got to drive it a little bit farther. I'll feel a little bit more confident, a little bit closer to the hole. I assume you guys are using kind of somewhat similar of a initial, but I was a little bit short of where I needed to drive it. I would say at least 5 yards. Like realistically, I'd like it 5 to 10 yards, so I'm not that much max. So I want to just kind of tweak the spin a little bit to kind of get myself close there. So that's what we'll do on our actual playthrough, and hopefully we can get something nice to fall. Yeah, Shahid, I love cooking as well. But yeah, I agree with you with what you're saying. And kind of like what I was mentioning, you kind of need a team because not only it's either that or I just have to do like 3 roles. I have to handle camera positioning, multiple takes for no reason because the camera's not positioned right since I'm not looking at it. And then on top of that, all the video editing is just going to be like so much work. That the video editing alone, I feel like, is at least a couple hours per short video. So it's pretty aggressive to expect to try to do it on your own. Would definitely be a lot of work. So let's see. We're just going to go live here. I don't think I got a really good idea on how close I was adjustment wise, but at least just rehearsing that whole again, I at least feel a little bit better about what I need to do and modify for the next go through. So we'll try to hope for the best and maybe get the drop here. Michael Madsen, that's awesome. I can't believe you even remember that. But yeah, so I was pushing those guys pretty hard. Funny enough, they actually got in. They kind of like took heat for the community here supporting them, which is kind of bogus. I'm kind of upset about that. But they kind of took heat because it was like all these accounts are like, okay, these are not real people, but yes, they are. Like they just don't get it. So it's a little disappointing, that they were kind of treated the way that they were on that whole situation. But in the end, ultimately, it worked out for them. But it was kind of aggravating when you try to do something nice for your friends that, it kind of gets, misinterpreted in the community of what you're trying to do. So hopefully this one's a little bit longer off the tee. Still got the sniper on. Yeah, Michael, and they've also been growing since then as well. Great band. I still, they still live very close to me. Of course, I haven't. I used to go to school with them. I've kind of lost a little bit of contact, but I still check out the shows when I can. And they do a lot of stuff in my area. Like they go kind of all over Maryland. And they've also added a lot of kind of classical influence as well. They have somebody on the bass. It's really cool music for sure. So let's go here, see if we can at least do this one a little bit better. (16.3). Same thing. It didn't even, so this is not, so the whole fact that it's not a farther drive is kind of annoying for me. But let's just see what we can do, and we'll set up a little bit more systematic here. I think 16.3 is going to be light. So I'm going to go beyond that. FYI, we're going to go about 16.8, right at the max line. Ah! I feel that needle kind of skipped on me. This is definitely going to be left. There's no reason. Oh, no, and it's like horribly left. That's not right. That shouldn't have been there. I went too many rings for that to be there. So that's a little frustrating. You know, I was right by the hole with the other one, and then kind of just got kind of on the bad luck of things there. Maybe, you know, I was a little light even at 16.8. Probably great right would have been better, but there's no way that it should have wound up where it did. I feel I definitely got kind of the short end of things there. But let's see what we can do. Let's think positive and still try to get this one to fall. Because it would suck to, you know, especially after just practicing this and, you know, realistically having it right on the edge. I mean, it wasn't that far off. Definitely don't want to throw away a stroke here. So my Spitfire is about there. This is 10% at most on a Spitfire. Just want to take a look and see what the number says on 10%. One ring. Just outside the cup. Ah, there's no way that's going in with great ball. So I feel like they kind of stole. I feel like they kind of stole that stroke back away from me. I used more topspin on my drive. It still wound up far, and then I still went rather what I would consider pretty good adjustment there, and can't believe that they would give me. I feel like realistically they gave me birdie there because I don't even think I hit, like, that was like a four straight. I was like, my timing was good and it just skipped over. So a little sucky there, but let's just move on from it. Not that big of a deal, I guess. We got Thorn, we got Kingmaker, Wreck Bag. Let's just jump in. We should be able to get 7. It just sucks that, you know, I definitely feel like I don't deserve what happened. And I really don't even feel like it was my fault either. Appreciate that, Scar, too. I hadn't seen anybody use a Kingmaker, but that's awesome. You know, at least, you know, hopefully some of these stuff that I'm putting on can at least be beneficial. I had not been, the most sucky part, I had not been there yet. So it's like, why did the ball wind up there? It doesn't even make sense. But I also feel like for some reason my drive was just going shorter. Isn't it a tailwind? So it's like, why is it rolling out so short? Doesn't even make sense to me. So a POC plus 10 here. We're going to go about 11.5. Pock 8 plus 10, and then no OP. I've been using about 4 curl, maybe just a little bit beyond. My full bars of curl is basically where you see the last grid that I'm using there. Maybe just a hair more than that. And this should be good for our setup. Let's see how it rolls out. That one rolled out strong, so that should be more in line with what I've been doing. I use about plus 25% on this one. And then we do a hold check. So I'm basically just going to see how long that is in relation to the hole, and we'll go from there. Hey, Sebastian, thanks for showing up. Appreciate seeing, a lot of guys here. Let's see what we can do here. 11.5. This is plus 2. Man, that was light. I thought for sure I had that one. Almost seemed like the perfect drive, perfect everything. That's exactly how I made it yesterday. And for whatever reason, just a little bit more effect there. Just a hair. 0.1. 0.1 away from getting that one. So I almost feel, like I missed out on 2 there. I'm going to go practice on this one. I haven't been close enough that I feel confident on this one. So we're just going to do what we can here. I'm going to do it pretty similar to what I've been doing. And we're just going to kind of use this one shot as hopefully a launch to be able to grab it. Especially after I feel like, the last 2, I feel like I should have got both of those. Well, meaning getting both of them. I definitely should have had the Eagle on 6 and 7 there. I just played it like that yesterday. Pretty much it was spot on, everything. Was the wind large? I'm even trying to figure out. So 11.5, it's not that large. But it seemed to have maybe pushed it maybe just a little bit more. Just needed just 0.1 more. So 13.9 in this situation. Oh, I finally got that those 3 practice. That must have been at least 10 or 15 plays there. That looks pretty good. What was that wind? 11.3. We're going to take that to the memory bank. One thing that I figured out is technically I can forfeit these. Let's just watch this shot just to see how it works out. My adjustment was plus 20, pretty much 12 o'clock north. You could kind of see I was kind of focused in on the ball guide there. It was Kingmaker. I'm kind of keeping it to the right of the hole, but there's no like So it's just kind of, I'm using the grid. It was like one grid, one full grid. It's hard to describe without actually being able to set up, but you could see me kind of zoom in. And that shot, it worked out pretty good. Didn't fall, but we'll give it another go. And, you know, let's just hope for the best. I try to do, you know, 12 o'clock north pull. I feel like the most times that it deviates, it's just like a hair, you know, maybe if I'm a little light on my 12, or it seems to be going pretty true, but that was my best one. So, you know, I'm by no authority for this hole, but we'll give it another go and try to make just a slight mod based on what just happened. It was kind of just to the left. I'll kind of do the same thing. So if you want to see it again, you'll be able to kind of see my adjustment because you'll see where the ball guide is. With that being said, I'm not even convinced that this is going to roll out the exact same, because this is another one like 4, especially with Kingmaker, super high wind. It just seems to not being consistent with me. So I haven't even been able to submit one of these videos yet because it hadn't even been that close. That was probably the most close to proximity stopping at the hole that I've had. But we'll give it a go. Depending on the wind, if it's in the 12s, maybe I keep the exact same backspin, which was 1 bar. If it's a smaller wind or if it's a similar wind, I'll just take off just a fraction. Try to hopefully just make one small revision. And then it's probably going to come down to pull angle more than anything, especially when you're pulling 14 rings. Like your pull angle is so important. Like it's so vital to shot replication when you're talking about that many rings. You know, 7 rings, not as big a deal, but 14, it's like twice the variation. So 12-3, I think that kind of solidifies what I was just talking about. We're probably just going to keep the same amount of backspin, or very, very close. You can see this is kind of where I was. No, it was here. So with this one, a little bit more wind effect. We're going to go just a little bit more to the right. You can see what the ball guide looks like. And then we're going to go about 15-1. But with 15 rings, we're talking about pull angle being so vital. Just beyond 15 rings. Perfect ball. Let's hope for the best. See, this one's outside, pretty far to the right. Maybe just I might have just been a little heavy on the pull. With that last one, I do feel I was rushing. Speed was good. I like the rollout speed. Everything there looked pretty good. So that was the same backspin as before, and you can see it made it to the hole with the 12-3. So there's so much room for error. You know, that's probably almost 1 full yard to the right in that situation. And, you know, I feel more so than anything, it's kind of pull angle plus a little bit of maybe slight variation in ball guide offset, because I was keeping it to the right. And I went more than last time. Obviously, I went too much more than last time. The reason I went so much more, which was probably almost half a grid, was because of the fact that the wind was 1 larger. So with that in mind, since I would have been left anyway, I tried to over-exaggerate how much I overpulled there. So all things considered, though, this is a pretty decent qualifier. Hole 9, I'm trying to even remember what hole this is off the top of my head. Oh, I remember this one now. I think, is it quarterback? I think it's quarterback for this one. So we'll set up there. Is it quarterback or is it just straight up? I think maybe it is just a pock here. So pock, we're going to go kingmaker, which we have. I think this is another a pock plus 10, so it's almost 1-to-1 for me. Straight up. Appreciate that, guys. I don't get near the amount of plays as some of the other guys, but we'll give it a go. Hopefully we can give this one a run. Realistically, I've been close on this one, so I expect good things. I've been real close on this. It almost plays real close. My win yesterday, I think it was 10 something though, so I have to take that into consideration. But it played very similar to a Kingslayer shot. I mean, virtually identical. So I probably should have made it. 11-5. No OP. Just a hair under on my ring pull. This is sniper 1-to-1 minus a little bit. At least get in the ballpark of where I want. Plus 12 in this situation. A little bit shorter drive. I'm a little worried about that. Let's just try this. Hope for the best. And not working out. It seems like it's a little short. Like I feel like it should have landed longer than it did. I hadn't made it yet, so wasn't expecting to, but with that being said, I think it's a really good opportunity and definitely something that you can get aggressive with. I just think my ball there is landed a little bit short. Almost like I need to just give it a little bit oomph towards max club. But all things considered, you know, not a bad round. I definitely feel like they took one from me on 6. My shot shouldn't have been that bad. That's the first time I've even been there, so little disappointing to see. I'm pretty sure I did everything relatively good and wound up with that. But all things considered, you know, we're up there. We have a good qualifier, even with the stroke that, you know, they took away from me. I definitely could have earned 7. So, you know, 17 under, definitely not out of the realm, even with the KM balls. So, you know, maybe in the opening weekend rounds, we can, you know, maybe throw something together pretty good. Who knows? But you guys have it. This is kind of where we ended up. All of us here sitting at 15 right now. I think it's going to get beat by the end of the day. There's some pretty strong competitors in this bracket. So, but it's a good starting point. So not bad. And using the Kingmakers only, trying to kind of convert Kingmakers into Kingslayers. All things considered, not too bad. If you guys want to see it, you know, this is how we wound up. I definitely feel like they kind of took one from me on 6 for sure. No way I deserve to be there. Everything else, you know, pretty good. We played pretty clean, gave ourselves some opportunities. Definitely could have made, you know, a couple more. But thanks, guys, for showing up and just hanging out and supporting in the chat. Appreciate seeing you guys. And good luck out there with your guys' own tournaments. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.